Hey yo, it's Fused Biscuits here. Now, the new ban list has gone into effect, but when it came out, it was Christmas, right? And oh my God, I recorded it and I completely forgot to do the video. So, rather than release it now, I'm gonna actually go over it again because there is some relevant stuff that just came out that actually pairs with this ban list a little bit. So, first things first, the unlimited section, what is coming back, right? Trickstar Reincarnation. Now, I'm not really sure why Trickstar Reincarnation got banned, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's because of the Droll and Lockbird combo that goes with it. But before we go through the Droll combo, what does Trickstar Reincarnation actually do, right? It says banish your opponent's whole hand and then they draw the same number of cards, right? Now, it doesn't look like that much. Honestly, maybe you banish one of their good hands and get them a bad hand or whatever. Maybe you banish some of their one-offs that they happen to draw. But where this card gets really disgusting is with Droll and Lockbird, right? So Droll and Lockbird, it's a quick effect. Like, it's not like a trigger effect, right, where you have to use it like directly on whatever happens. Droll is a quick effect, so you can use it at any point in a chain that started with whatever set it off, right? So if your opponent searches or draws a card outside the draw phase, instead of just activating Droll, you can activate Reincarnation and then chain Droll. And what's that going to do, right? That's going to make it so that Trickstar Reincarnation banishes the whole hand, but it can't do the second part of them drawing the same cards, right? So you basically hand rip them with this combo, which is why I'm guessing it got banned in the first place. Now, White Dragon Mother Buster is coming back. Now, this isn't really going to do anything. It's going to make Dragon Link a bit better, right? Because they have two of this, and if you were going to play two of either the White Dragon or the Dark Dragon, then yeah, you would play two of the White Dragon. But I mean, you could get away with 1-1, especially because Chaos Speech is already at 3, so it doesn't really matter too much. A lot of graveyard decks or decks that would make use of this combo are using dark monsters, right? Most of the graveyard stuff is dark. This was the best one to get off Chaos Space. So it means that it's a little bit less of a brick when you actually draw it, but it really doesn't matter all that much. Anyway, Floowandereeze and M-Pens coming back to 3. This is definitely a boost to Floowandereeze. Right now, I kind of respected Floowandereeze. Why? Because it doesn't care about maxing. I think that's one of the main reasons people think that this deck is kind of toxic, especially in Master Duel, is because it doesn't care about maxing. Now, there is the other side of it, of course. It's able to use a lot of floodgates, but I mean, a lot of the floodgates got banned, right? So really what's just keeping this alive is its ability to play around Maxi. However, this is the first time the new cards are really coming up, right? We have the Molt Chummies coming out. The Molt Chummies are like Maxi, but for certain situations, right? Like the main one, Furos, is when you summon from the extra deck or deck, right? So that one has no effect on Floowandereeze whatsoever. Right, because Floowandereeze never summons from the deck. They always add to hand and summon from hand, right? So the one that really matters for them is Perulia. Perulia is like Maxi, but it's any summon from the hand. However, I guess Perulia is not that good, honestly. Like, it's not the best one. It didn't really take off, at least not in the way that Furos did. Furos is basically Maxi Part 2, right? And it also has no effect on Floowandereeze, so that's just fine. Anyway, next time we got Quick Launch again, just a little boost to Dragon Link, but I mean, it's a great boost, right? I can't deny it. Like, it's basically full combo with like no downsides, right? It's full rocket combo, but you don't have to like commit anything, right? You don't have to commit that normal summon, which is kind of an issue in Dragon Link sometimes, right? Sometimes your hands will be like in a state where you kind of have to commit a normal summon, and usually that's just fine, right? But this, you don't have to commit anything, right? So you just you get stuff for free, that's always nice to see. Now, Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones. This card is at 1 in both other formats, both in the TCG and OCG. And the reason is not because like Mecha Hornet Drones is the best card or anything like that. It just summons a token, right? The reason is because of its interaction with the other Sky Striker cards, mainly Sky Striker Engage. Now, let's just go over the state of the Sky Striker combo before the ban list, right? What it was is that usually it's 3 engage, 1 hornet drones, and 1 random spell card. Usually will be 1 widow anchor. Right? Because it can search any sky striker card, and all the spells are basically generic. Well, they're not completely they need no monsters on the main monster zone, but that's the same with Sky Striker Engage anyway, so they share the same condition. So if you can use the Engage, you can use any of the other ones, but that's beside the point, right? Basically, when you draw the Engage, because of this interaction with all these other cards, it's a bit like triple tactics, but it's not nearly as situational, right? You don't have to wait for your opponent to do something. You can just do it straight away as almost the first thing, right? And if you get 3 spells in the grave, it actually goes insane as well, because Engage actually gets a bonus draw. So if you're playing a very spell heavy deck, you might want to consider actually playing the Sky Striker combo. Well, now what also carries this card a little bit is Kagari, right? When you summon the token off of Hornet Drones, you can use it to go into Kagari, and that can add another Sky Striker spell from the graveyard back to your hand, right? So you either grab back the Hornet Drones to get 2 tokens, or you can grab back the Engage, and then you get like the Widow Anchor, which might not be usable turn 1, but I mean, you usually get the Widow Anchor if you want to put spells in the grave, or if you want to draw a card off of Engage's secondary effect, right? Once you have 3 spells in the graveyard, Engage can actually draw you a bonus card. That's what made it really strong back in the day. But now that Hornet Drones is coming back off the ban list, right, you can play 2 Hornet Drones and 3 Engage. You don't really have to play the Widow Anchor since it's more situational, right? And what this means that if you're going first, or this is even good going second, just putting the 2 tokens up, but if you are going first, you can it's no contest. You always get the Engage, right? Because you can just engage and search for a second Hornet Drones, which means you can go for the draw off of Engage more often, right? Which is the real problem behind it, right? The Hornet Drones is basically what made that whole engine viable in the first place, because every other Sky Striker card either doesn't do anything going first, or it only is good going first for Sky Strikers, right? Like Ray, for example, or Linkage right now, right? But Hornet Drones can just be used in anything. There's no downside to it, which is why it had to get hit in the first place. Clearly, they're just testing it in Master Duel to see if it's going to be insane or not. I don't think it is going to be that good, honestly. I think Sky Strikers, they've had their day. When Sky Striker Engage came back to 3, I was scared, bro. I won't lie. But Engage has been at 3 for a while. No one's really using it. I used it for a bit. I experimented with it in White Woods, right? So White Forest. But it's not that great as an engine anymore, right? It still can hold up as a deck. It still does stuff. It's just that little mini engine is not that great anymore. And anyway, go on to the next thing. We have Herald of Orange Light. Now, I actually forgot, what is this card being used in right now? Melodious, right? So I think that's where it's probably going to be used. It's either Melodious or it's Madolce. I don't think any of the others are that great right now. Ishizu isn't doing anything. All of those decks are banned, so you don't have to worry about that. Drytron, they did get some recent support in the new pack, so maybe Drytrons will be a bit better, because again, you can use Herald of Orange Light in that deck. And also, I mean, Agents is there, but Agents is just, it's a meme deck, come on, bro. So really the main things is Melodious, Madolches, and maybe Drytron, and that's it. I think that's all for what Herald of Orange Light is going to do. It used to be very good with the Ishizu package, but again, all of that is bans now, so it's not really that great. Now, the cards to be limited, these are the main ones of the ban list, right? Both the Tenpai cards, we've got Tenpai, Dragon Chandra, and Sangen Summoning. Both of these want to be used at 3 in Tenpai, no contest, right? Chandra is basically the main card that you go for to get all of your stuff going, right? To get all of the OTK going. And Sangen Summoning, again, this was so good even before it came out in Master Duel. They had the foresight to kind of put this to 2 to make it so that they're not opening it as often, and you can interact with them a bit more often, right? But now it's actually going to 1, so there's even less chance of them actually getting into it. Now they still have the Kaiman at 3, which is unlike the other 2 formats. Oh, actually, no, the OCG still has that 3, so, you know. Okay, we still have that, we're mirroring the OCG right now, I guess. But, you know what, I think this is going to be a huge hit to the consistency. However, even though Tenpai is getting these hits, it is getting a huge boost with the new Mole Chummies, right? Basically with Furos, right? Furos is giving it a huge boost, one that might just cancel out these limits, honestly. Tenpai is a going second deck, right? And going second decks, they can maximize the usage of Maxi, basically. Like, Maxi is incredibly good going second, basically game winning. And Furos, again, this is like Maxi but only for going second. So yeah, Tenpai can just max out on this card, and now they have 6 copies of Maxi to work with, right? And this is, oh no, this is just like, it's a very, very strong card, and you know, it's bad in some matchups. Some decks don't want to summon from the deck. Some decks don't want to summon from the extra deck as well, but you know, they're far and few between. Let's see the tier list right now. Go over the cards that want to actually summon from the deck, right? Tenpai Dragon, they summon from the deck once, really, but I mean, they summon from the extra deck a ton. Same with, well, Snake Eyes Fire King, they actually do a lot of summoning from the deck, like a decent amount of summoning from the deck, so you know, that is going to be a thing. But again, they summon from the extra deck a lot. Ritual Beast as well, they summon from the extra deck a ton, right? That kind of Hawk Tower is going insane, like they do it at least 15 times, bro. I swear, they are, oh my god. U-Bell, the basic U-Bell pops, right? Every time you pop a U-Bell, it summons from the deck. So yeah, of course, this deck summons from the deck a lot. I mean, to be fair, compared to the other 3, it summons from the extra deck a little bit less, but it summons from the deck a lot more, right? Now, Voiceless Voice is one of those ones that it can actually play around this, right? It summons from the deck like 1 time on your turn. Maybe it summons from the deck on its turn, but again, that's like 1 max and usually doesn't happen. And it doesn't summon from the extra deck either, so this has a very good matchup into Furos. Let's see, White Forest, again, they don't really summon from the deck that much. Their main card that they start with in the pure version, yeah, it does summon from the deck, but a lot of their stuff summons from the hand right now. The real issue is that White Forest, again, extra deck, right? It summons from the extra deck quite a bit. And if you did start with that 1 card starter, yeah, you're going to be summoning from the deck, right? So this is, it's basically Maxi like into the White Forest, right? Let's not doubt it. Snake Eyes, oh my days, yeah, they summon from the deck and the extra deck. They summon a bunch, so yeah, definitely Maxi into this. Branded, they summon from the extra deck. I don't, do they summon from the deck all that much? Oh, you know, they can. They don't do it that often, right? But they do summon from the deck a little bit. They have a decent matchup into Maxi because they're one of those decks that can stop halfway, right? Which most decks usually can't do that. But yeah, I guess Furos is decent against this deck. Like, I mean, definitely decent enough to play it. The thing with cards like Furos and Maxi, even if you draw 1 card off of it, that's still value, right? So if you're drawing like 2 cards, again, Pot of Greed, so they're already good, like, even if they don't do that much. Labyrinth, again, this Furos is not very good against this deck. They do summon from the deck on your turn, right? But mostly what you're going to get out of that is like 1 draw, right? If they're actually smart about it. Gimmick Puppet, you know, they summon from the deck and stuff like that. Now, Gimmick Puppets are like in a weird situation. They're an FTK deck, right? So if you don't have this like hand traps to pair with the Maxi, this deck will just kill you on turn 1. But you know, other than that, I mean, it's basically the same as Maxi against this deck. Centurion, they don't really summon from the deck. They mostly summon from the back row. Like they summon from, no, you know, they don't really summon from the deck actually. It's basically always either the hand or they spin someone from the deck into the back row and someone from the back row, which will not trigger the Furos, right? So they have a very good matchup into Furos. Like, it's not Maxi at all against that deck, and they had a decent matchup against Maxi anyway, so you know, that's always good. Chimera, I think they don't summon from the deck, do they? No, they don't summon from the deck, not really. And what they do, they summon a bit from the hand, but again, it's like branded in the way that you can stop halfway with Chimera, right? You don't need to play fully into the Maxi at all, so you know, very good matchup there. Now, Salamangreat, I mean, they don't really summon from the deck all that much. They summon from it a few times, But I mean, they summon so much from the extra deck. It doesn't matter, bro. It's a Cyburst deck. It's basically Max C against that deck. Now that's actually it for the ban list, right? It just went into effect, and there's not much else to it. But basically, let's do the rundown, you know, just to go through it real quick. So the main thing, I think we can just forget all the unlimited stuff. It's not that important. The main part of this is the Tenpai hits right now. Chandra and Sangan summoning go into one, but this again is paired off with the release of Furos, right? So I think this deck is going to be a little bit weaker to hand traps, honestly. It's a bit harder to open Chandra. You're basically going to have to search into it, and if Ash blocks you, there's not going to be that many ways to get Synchro out. Now, I've heard about people using Destrudo. Maybe that's the new source, right? But I'm not really sure about that, so I can't really comment on that at all. But yeah, that is it for the ban list. Guys, if you have any kind of input to put into this, please let me know, right? Because, again, I wasn't really here for the Sky Striker format. Not really. And, you know, I don't know much about Trickstars or why this got banned, you know. I've not really experienced Chandra. I don't play the TCG, right? So I haven't experienced what these are like when they're actually limited. So, you know, please, if I got anything wrong, tell me in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.